What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today. And the title of this video is no joke. I have technically spent $1,500 to get this video out for you. This is a video that I am kind of using as a test for recording on my new laptop. Now, it's an Acer laptop. It's got a 4060 in it. It's i7 something. So it should be fairly capable. However, I might have went a little bit underneath with the screen sizing. It's a 16-inch 1080p monitor. It's 144 hertz, but going from a 2K monitor to a 1080p one, everything looks blurry, even though it probably isn't. Now, I'm not sure how well it's going to do with recording as well. I've done one or two little test clips where, like, my face cam was a little bit laggy compared to the rest of it. So I'm hoping this goes okay. I need to try and download the DaVinci Resolve after this to sort out the editing process. But yeah, if there is anything off about this video, whether it's the audio side, whether it's the video side, if sounds are slightly off, or if the video might be a little bit like slow down, speed uppy, or the frame rate's a little bit all over the place, I apologise. We shall see. Right now, if I do Control F in game, I'm rocking at about 60 to 70, which is very odd because I played last night in a kind of 7-ish man server on Detroit Supercross track, and I was getting about 110. So the recording really is taking its toll by the looks of it. But just for the sake of getting the occasional video out here and there, we will see how it goes. We are playing on Cadillac Ranch today, created by Panic Rev. So let's spin some laps, and I hope you enjoy. Right, okie dokie. Let's get some lap spinning going on. Now, I feel like there is a whole video's worth of debating going on here on how much your PC setup helps or hinders your ability to go fast in this game. Because for me right now, this laptop is more than capable of me hopping on the game and just spinning a couple laps in single player and not thinking much of it. My graphics are almost maxed out. I do have some reshade settings on just to try and brighten things up a little bit. And then outside of that, that's it. I've got no reshade on at all. I've downloaded the bare minimum. So I've got... Oh, someone's popping up on Steam down there. I'm not sure if you can see that. I've got the OEM bytes downloaded, obviously. I spent a lot of time last night going from transferring all my settings over, moving suspensions over. I've got my bare minimum gear, so I downloaded an entire FXR team gear, which ended up being about 16 gig, which is ridiculous. Then just to pluck my own stuff out of it and remove everyone else's. So I'm planning not to fill this up with too much stuff. I've got the essentials, so I've got Steam, Discord, obviously MX Bikes. That's the only game I've got downloaded. I'm going to have to install DaVinci Resolve, possibly download GIMP, because I basically leech off my brother's Photoshop license as it is. So I don't think there's any more PCs that can be covered by that, so we'll see what happens there. But then other than that, it should be A-OK. I'm hoping that the mic's all right, because this has all just been plug and play so far. I did do a little test recording with the camera that comes with the laptop. It did not look good whatsoever. It was a massive, massive downgrade. Obviously, it's not a dedicated, I guess, recording face cam. So we'll plug the Elgato back in. All my ports are taken up now. I've got my headphones in one, I've got the controller in another, I've got the microphone in another, and I've got the face cam in another. So if I need to plug anything else in at any other point, we're kind of screwed. And I won't lie, in terms of battery life on this, when I have put it to high performance, to be fair, rather than battery saving, but it only literally lasts like 2 hours maximum without being plugged in at all. So hopefully I remember to do that, and hopefully it gives me a warning at some point when it is and isn't plugged in. So with all that waffle out of the way, let's get into this. So we are playing Cadillac Ranch. This is a track created by a Mr. Panic Rev 294. He doesn't give any sort of wording at all in the description of this video. It is literally just pictures and then the credits as well. And I have seen just some really positive reviews on it so far, and honestly, so far so good. It seems to be flowing rather nicely. Looking at the pictures, I thought that the best thing for me would be to ride it on a 2-stroke. However, I've just got no skins right now. The only skins I have are on 450s. So I thought, for the sake of trying to look as fly as possible, we would rock that. Now, the on-track decals, like the texturing, I think looks really, really nice. It's got a good amount of objects dotted around in terms of boughs and banners. I have got 3D grass turned off, so there may well be some good 3D grass dotted around. However, again, to save any sort of FPS, I thought it best to do that. I'm a little bit nervous today because I woke up far, far, far too late I have literally woken up at like 1:30 p.m. I've gone through trying to install what I need to and the track and such, and getting my my OBS set up to where it can record stuff properly. So I've basically got about 20 minutes or so maximum to record the video. I've then got to try and edit it as quickly as possible, and then I'm kind of at the mercy of the laptop's power, because it all depends how fast it can render the video out. My upload speed. Oh, God, that scared the absolute life out of me. If anybody had no idea, I have never, ever, 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 ever played this game with a what was it, like a tester on? You know, so you've got somebody riding around in front of you, like the target to aim for, live testing. Since day one, I turned it off. The only reason I think that I'd done that was when I initially came from MX Simulator. What I should do in time trial in that game is increase the view distance, like the ghost would go invisible as much as possible, so I just didn't see him, because I find it quite distracting when I'm trying to go for laps and I've got someone right in front of me. So yeah, on day one I turned it off. So you are witnessing basically a first for me ever. I've never played against the ghost before in this game. It's always been either completely solo or it's been in multiplayer lobbies. So there you go. Well, I say Paul's first. Lynn's first. You are witness to a special occasion right now. So to talk about what I'm looking at right now. So the monitor is, I want to say, not exactly half, maybe like 2/3 the size of what I usually rock with. So I'm having to squint in a little bit more, and looking at stuff that's coming up in the distance is actually quite difficult. And it's hard to explain, but it almost feels like sometimes, you know, in video games where you load it up and they've got motion blur by default, and then you play for 10 seconds, you realise, oh, something's a bit off here, let me check, and then you turn it off straight away. It feels like there's motion blur, which is really, really, really odd. I've realised that I'm not taking any of these insides. It's not by choice, it is purely by mistake. I need to try and actually land jumps in the right place. But 100%, this is a disadvantage. Now, I was playing on Detroit last night a little bit, just trying to get a feel for the game on this computer versus my normal desktop. And even if I ran laps that felt like they were good laps to me, like they felt quick, I was still 2 seconds off where I'd expect to be in terms of lap time. I think I was running like 47s when I know that I can run 45s, and I think my very, very best lap was a 45.9, and that was just a one-off. So it's an interesting topic of conversation. It really, really is. I'd be interested to see kind of what PCs the other top boys in the games have, or if they are just running on, you know, cheap laptops. Because 100%, if you went out of your way and spent a silly amount of money, I'm not saying anybody should do this, just play MX Bikes. First of all, you deserve to do well. Secondly, you'll see, I think, a huge improvement in your gameplay. And what I'm kind of feeling it relates to, which is, it's not going to be exactly one for one, and some people are going to have no idea what I'm talking about as well, is Rocket League. We'll take Rocket League for example. That game is available on both PlayStations as well as PC. Now, for whatever reason, when you play on PlayStation, even if you're using a controller like you would on PC anyway, there is the weirdest sort of like input delay and input lag, where the car doesn't really do what you want it to do when you want it to do it. There's a little bit of a delay, so you have to preemptively do stuff. And that's kind of how I feel like I'm playing right now. I'm in the same refresh rate, so I'm still in 144 Hz, but there's just something about the 1080 rather than the 2K that just makes it look so much older to me. And for all the time that I'm praising how pretty this game can look, it's so odd going back to making it look a little bit mid, to be honest, and not having it like blowing your eyeballs off of how bright everything is, not filling up the entirety of my screen. So this will be on an emergency basis after this video. It will literally just be when I'm away. If I can't get a video out in time, I'll hop on MXV Mods, see what tracks have come out, spin a few laps on it, and just have a little bit of content for you guys to see on that day. I couldn't see myself playing like this long term. I'm more impressed, to be honest, by people who can do this, but I suppose you get good at what you're used to, if that makes sense. So I'm used to massive monitor, everything running in 150 plus FPS all the time in 2K. So of course, if I then downgrade to something else, it will feel a little bit odd. But it's I'd be very interested to see if you had someone who was already really, really fast on a middle tier laptop who was maybe only just squeaking 60 FPS on some tracks. I'd be very curious to see what they can do if you gave them like the whole shebang, like a really over the top powerful rig. Apparently When I bought this, it was given like little benchmark tests, and it was saying apparently it gets about 150 FPS whilst playing Call of Duty. I'm starting to think that isn't with high graphics on Call of Duty, unless MX Bikes is just that unoptimized that it runs that poorly. Tempted to try it. Also, don't want to waste that much space on the laptop by downloading COD, because we're looking at probably like 1890 gig at this point, which is just ridiculous. It's a terabyte inside this, and I'm trying to keep it as free as possible. Unfortunately, the recordings, like with how I set up my bitrate and things like that in OBS, a 15-minute video, just like the raw recording, tends to come out at about 30 gig, 40 gig, depending on what track you're playing and how much detail is in the track. So yeah, I do have to be a little bit careful about that, and it'll definitely be a case of, as soon as I've rendered and uploaded a video, I will be going back and deleting the recording and the raw footage, everything straight away, to free up as much space as possible. But you know what? It does a job, and that's what it's here for. It does a little bit of a job. It's there for when I want to go away, and let's say, for example, I'm going away for an entire week. But I know it's a rare occasion. I usually go away for like 4 days maximum. Let's say I want to go away for an entire week. MX Bikes is a very difficult game to pre-record a bunch of content on. Depending on what comes out at the time, what you can kind of brainstorm yourself, you might have like 3-4 days worth of videos, then after that you're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel looking for something to do. So what can be good is if you do 3 days pre-recorded, then you have those 3 days whilst you're away for more content to be put into the game, whether it's tracks or different races, etc. So you can then go back, record the newer stuff, upload that onto the end of your already recorded 3 days, then maybe you'll have 5 days, maybe 6 days. So that's kind of what my plan is going to be. And I suppose that way as well, at the moment, my, let's say my visiting hours of seeing my girlfriend all revolves around her work right now. She has a very, very limited number of annual leave days or vacation days. I don't know what you call it overseas. It's annual leave in the UK. It might be the same thing. I have no idea. So she hasn't got much to work with. Really, she can book off, I think we worked out, 1.5 days worth of work per month now for the rest of, well, until August when her holiday resets. Which, as you can imagine, kind of sucks. A long-distance relationship's only been able to see your other half for 3-4 days if you include like weekend days as well. And obviously, I can't go on Fridays because we've got MX Bike stuff going on. I would not want to try and race Aerial Supercross with this setup. I think I would hinder myself massively. Although, to be fair, I don't think it could get much worse than my last 2 rounds. I have played absolutely abysmally, and it's just, I don't know what to say. A little bit of a slump in the racing side of things, I guess. Hopefully we improve sooner rather than later. But yeah, this is, as I said many times, this is for emergencies, I guess. And obviously I'd like to thank all of you for watching my videos and being very, very kind and generous in live streams as well, for even giving me the ability to technically have 2 PCs, you know, like, well, 3 technically. I've got 1 stored away in the loft in the attic, which was my old PC, which, to be fair, I had before YouTube, so that doesn't really count. I then got my main PC, which was all done through like YouTube revenue as well over a period of months, and now I've managed to get my little bit of a backup on the go here. So all good stuff. Thank you so much. I hope this is watchable. I hope it's understandable. If it is a little bit off and you notice anything that's a bit out of place, whether it's audio lining up, whether it's like face cam kind of being a little bit pausey and restarty, if the speed of the video is maybe slowing down and speeding up over and over again, if the frame rate's off, just anything, let me know. I will try my very, very best to work on it and improve it before it has to be used again. And yeah, basically just a test video. So I apologise if I've roped you in with that title, but it is technically true. But I think that will do it from me. I'm going to love and leave you. I hope you've enjoyed. Please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I would greatly appreciate it. And have a lovely rest of the day, whatever it is you're up to. Catch you guys next time. Peace.